You're all warmly welcome once again to the ViztaEdu VizCon 2.1 ViztaEdu community webinars. These are educational webinars that we do have every once in a month on the last Thursday on the 7 p.m. And we hope to inspire creativity, to inspire constructive conversations while we have this webinars. So stick with us. We'll wait for a few more minutes for more people to join and we'll start. Thank you so much for your patience. Glad to have you all here. All right. I believe we are quite a handful here now. We can start. So you're all warmly welcome once again to the ViztaEdu educational webinars. We host these webinars on the last Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. because we want to inspire creativity. We want to have a community of young tertiary level students and beyond who are having constructive conversations about things that matter to them. And Who are we, ViztaEdu? We are a community of young people who just want to change the world one step at a time, with educational webinars, with workshops on project work, and basically everything that concerns young people in terms of the educational journeys. So if you are new here, you're warmly welcome. My name is Akwele Okai. I'm the CEO and co-founder of ViztaEdu, and I'm here with my team, Albert, Caleb, and Samuel. But today is not about us. Today is about our wonderful speaker who is a software engineer by profession and a student as well, Google Developer Student Lead of Central University. And he's here with us today. If you can hear me, Gideon, can you please say hi before I read your profile?
Hi. Hi.
We are so honored to have you here.
Thank you so much for the
All right.
opportunity.
Okay. I met Gideon at a boot camp organized by Trestle Academy, and we've been great friends since. And he agreed to join us since last year, December. We are so honored to have you join us today. So Gideon is a CTO, he's a founder, a startup founder of a tech company called Easyness Mall. And maybe he'll share a bit about what they do as he delve deeper into the conversation for today. He is the Google Developer Students Clubs lead of Central University, as I mentioned earlier, and a software engineer and a mobile app freelancer. Wow. First of all, wow. He's doing all these at the same time in school. Thank you so much for joining us, Gideon.
Thank you.
Over to you.
Okay. So I'm just gonna share. I don't know. Okay. Hi everyone. Good evening. Yeah, thank you. Good evening. So Gideon Salami, and nice to meet everyone. Nice to meet everyone over here. Thank you so much, Aquili and her team, ViztaEdu, for this opportunity to also share my experience on what I wish I knew before starting the tech journey. Okay. Yeah, so I would like our session to be very interactive, okay? So I'll be speaking about my experience and how I started. But first, I'll just introduce myself. So, like Akoli said earlier, I'm a computer science student. I'm in third year at Central University College Mutual main campus, and I'm a software engineer. So I'm into mobile app development and backend. So I think in 2021 June, I founded a tech startup called Easyness More, and Easyness More is an e-commerce platform, right? Which connects students from various campuses in Ghana and other countries like Nigeria and Kenya, where students are able to shop from our platform. So we connect retailers and company manufacturers to students on our platform, right? Because we realized most of the online shops had, like, I don't know, their prices were so outrageous for students, right? So we had to bridge into that market and come up with a feasible something. Yeah. So it's been going so well now. Yeah. So that's a little bit about me. Okay, so I'll be talking about my experience. Sorry, before I continue, can you guys hear me very well? Is my audio clear?
Yes, we can, and your audio and video are very clear.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So like I said, it will be a very interactive section. Okay, where I'll be sharing my experience, and probably when it's time for questions, you can, bring them up. Yeah. Okay. So let me say I started tech when I was in, I think when I was in senior high school. Yeah, so in high school I studied science IT, right? So um yeah, I studied science IT. So in senior high school, it's mostly IT students are taught web, the basics of web development using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Yeah, so I started with that, but I was so new to it. I just, I don't know, I just had, because when I was young, I used to always play games, right, on my dad's computer. So, yeah, so I was thinking probably of if I'm a good gamer, then I can equally do IT because yeah, I'll be equally good. So I didn't know like there was something called programming and all that until I started IT in school. So where we started learning HTML, the basics, CSS and JavaScript, you know. Yeah, so I was just learning for learning purposes. Like I was just learning to get good grades in the IT course and move to the next level in my academic life, right? So I started and yeah, so I was just learning. The teacher will come and teach, try and make this thing work, and we just get it done. So I had, I was just learning, like I was just learning to pass exams and just leave senior high school. Yeah, so um, I think when I got to I think is it second year in high school, senior high school, that I think Form 2 or whatever they call it, yeah, Form 2, and we had this guest who came from I can't remember the company you do, but he came to talk about React, right? I think back then, I think in 2018, so back then React was kind of a bit, you know, um, wasn't it wasn't new, but it was kind of blowing up in the system. So like, because we had a lot of companies were using React to develop their websites instead of using the normal HTML stuff. So they came and he came with his team, right? Because he was an old student of my school, so he came and he was sharing his experience with us, where he started with how he also left our school, right, and started with React. So over there, I got inspired. So I was like, yo, like this guy was, you could see like he was making it in life because he started right after senior high school, and he had his car and all that, and you could see he was so young. So I asked him, so hello. So like no, see he opened a forum where we could ask our questions, right? So I asked him, hello, sir. I want to ask a question. How did you get started? How did you start how did he get passion in tech? And he just told me like he decided to, just give it a try, and it's worked out for him. That was then like so I was like, okay. So right after senior high school, I decided to pursue computer science because already I had the IT background from senior high school. So I was like, okay, either computer engineering or computer science, but I picked computer science because it was more of the sciences people. Yeah, so I did that and I got the opportunity to um, be admitted in Central University main campus, and I started from there. So right there, I was still a newbie, right? Because what I knew was building a normal single page website with HTML and CSS with a little bit of JavaScript, right? So, you know, I still didn't have any solid knowledge. I think that was in 2020. Yes. So I didn't have any solid knowledge. And yeah, so we got there and we started doing those normal courses, those normal computer science courses and all that. And I had a friend who also, I think we were all in the same senior high school, right? So he's Dave, and he was in KNST back then. Right now he's in Russia. So he was there and he reached out to me, Salami. So I was thinking of something. He said, so he was like, when he got to school in tech, he realized so he wanted to buy some stuff, okay. But since he lives in Telma, he carrying those stuffs from Telma to Kumasi was, a hassle. And he wanted to buy them when he gets to campus, right? So he got to campus and he was so new to the environment because like he hasn't been to Kumasi before. So he decided to, okay, how about he buy some stuff from online, probably from Jumia, Amazon, blah blah blah. Yeah. So after he checked in and he realized like the prices were too much for him. So he thought of something. How about um we go to the sellers and we tell them that, oh, okay, so we are students, right? And we would love to buy these stuffs. But what we realize is that students find it difficult buying stuffs online because most of the prices are so expensive, and sometimes the delivery cost, sometimes discourages them to even shop online. Yeah, so that was where my journey started. That's exactly where my journey started. So Dave reached out to me because he knew I was a science IT student back then. He was doing biology, so he reached out to me and he was like, "Oh, Salami, and that was in 2020, right? So, and like I said, I had no knowledge. Like what I knew was the normal HTML, CSS, and just JavaScript for building just a single page. For like, yeah, I was even building like tables, columns, and rows. Yeah, so I didn't even have any solid um skill to build like even an actual good single page website. So he told me, and I was like, okay, we can create a website. I started to like I had no idea about like I was like, okay, we can create a website and just start our business, right? Yeah. So we were all new, but for me, I just said, okay, we can do it. And I started researching online, checking how to build websites and all that. So we first started with an ebook shop where we used WordPress because it was easy. So we didn't have to write so much codes. We just generated a template and we modified it. We modified some embedded codes inside, right, to suit according to what we wanted. So that was where my journey started. So I started learning some stuff like learning some CSS stuffs and still, yeah. So like I said, I still didn't have any solid knowledge. I was just trying to learn and make it work. Yeah. So I started with that, and it was going so well. And later, I became good in a way because I started working on more stuff. Like started researching and building until I think in 2021, early 2021, I learned some valuable skills like Django and all that for both front end and back end. So in 2021, I became like a full stack web developer. So we developed the site. Dave actually learned with me though, because he was in tech, so we were always learning online. I don't know if my call is breaking. I can see there's noise. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, awesome, awesome. Yeah, so that was where like I started, and I was those kind of introvert. Like I was always on my own. The only friend I knew was Dave. He was in tech and I was in Central University. And most of my colleagues didn't even know that, oh, okay, so this guy was even working on something. Like I said, most of the I don't know, most of the software engineers I've met, most of them are introverts. Like, so I didn't really engage myself in even school programs and all that. Like no one literally knew me. And I didn't want to kind of associate or join any tech events and not. Okay, back then my school didn't have that kind of stuff yet. So it was true that with Easyness we started and we built a small community, okay. And had this community had um people that were interested in becoming sales representatives. Okay, so we had to, um, so we had people trooping in to be to volunteer, right? So we had people from KNST, Central University. Later, we had people from Legon, Ghana Telecom. Yeah, so it started. So we kind of built a small community out of that. So this is where I learned how to communicate with people, like how to, because you know, I didn't know all these stuffs, and these stuffs like are vital stuff like that you need when, yeah, if you want to be a better person in tech, because like you would have to learn how to constantly like network and build like a strong relationship with people, in the industry, like to develop good skills because most of the time you're exposed when you get to know people because people get to share their experience with you, right? They get to tell you, okay, I'm working on this. So you will just be listening and you just go and research more. So like, that was like something I didn't know back then. So we establishing a small community out of Easyness was like the game change for me. The game changer, yes. So I was there like 2021, I think. So Easyness was doing well. So we had this ebook platform, and later we were like, okay, how about we add pharmacy? Because we realized on my campus, I realized there was no pharmacy on my campus, right? So we decided to okay add a pharmacy category aspect where like I personally went to partner with some some pharmacies outside my campus around Com 25 because when my campus is at Mutual, right? It's around Pram Mutual. So but we had like big pharmacies at Com 25. So I went there and I partnered with them and they liked my idea. So we kind of established that that small business trust. Yeah. So anytime let's say someone wants to purchase a medication or something, when the person orders it on our platform, we try to call the pharmacy to get it delivered to the person on campus. So this strategy was working for Tech and Legon as well. Yeah, so it was going, but we still it didn't like because we weren't really getting anything out of it. Yes, because all the money we were getting, we were using to pay WordPress hosting and all that. So that was where I was like, okay, then how about we create a full nice, beautiful working e-commerce platform called Easyness More. You can check it out probably after here, www.easynessmore.com, EASYNEENESSMAL.com. Yeah, so probably I would put it in the chat section, right? When we are almost done with the session, right? So that was where I started. So I was learning while I was building. So I was kind of watching YouTube videos, seeing how someone built the platform, right? So I started with that, and it was crazy, but well, we managed to make it work. I think I was able to fully build Easyness More within 6 to 7 months. Yeah, like I was coding almost every day. Do like I had zero knowledge, and back then I also didn't have any mentor or like all this stuff I didn't know. That was it. Like no one told me that, oh, Salami, if you are learning or if you want to become a software engineer, you are supposed to have like a mentor that is supposed to be checking on you. If you have any problems, you can reach out to. I didn't have any of them, right? So I was just watching videos and building and watching some documentations and all that, getting ideas from people. And yeah, so me, so that was literally how I started. So I was able to build it, right, and it was okay. But the others, it wasn't really okay. Until I realized, oh no, I had to reach out to someone. I have to reach out to someone who is better than me, someone that has the experience, right? So I talked to Dave, and Dave talked to a guy in tech. I think when I was in first year, the guy was in third year. He was pursuing computer engineering in tech, and he had a very good experience with Django for websites. So I reached out to him and I was like, "Oh, yo, I'm working on this and all that. Would you love to be my mentor? Because I would love to have someone that would mentor me and check, help me become a good web developer. Because that was what I had in mind back then." So he was like, okay. So I started, and anytime, so like already we had our sites running though. So he was identifying some features that he was identifying some features that we need to improve on our platform. So he would tell me, then I'll just, and he was giving me, he was kind of giving me guidelines. He gave me like a better roadmap to become a full stack web developer, right? So yeah, so I followed it, and that guy has really impacted my life because if I knew I needed a mentor back then, I would have been way better in 2018, 2019, thereabout. Yeah. So it was one amazing opportunity I had back then. And he was also a student like me. Yeah. So he was telling me he also had a mentor, and I also reached out to him to be my mentor. So like, I really enjoyed his mentorship session. I think still we are still connected though. Now he calls me boss. He's just joking though, right? Yeah. So that's basically it. So so after, so we were still working on the website. I now had a mentor that was helping me, and I also had a roadmap for myself. So I knew what I was working on, right? So I knew from this, I'm supposed to learn this to implement this in the website, right? So I think like now I wasn't confused anymore. Like I knew my path and what I was trying to achieve, right? So that was how like I started with Easyness and where I got to, right? So let's come back to the community aspects where we had the sales from each we had the sales reps from various universities in Ghana. So I think the people were like about 20 something, right? So it was a very small community, right? And I was like, okay, what I realized on my campus was we didn't have a community. Like we had only the CS department where they host events, I think every semester, but we didn't have people that would kind of help students struggling in tech, right? Because like I said, I think I was, yeah, so I was in first year back then, I think first and second semester, and I still didn't have any knowledge. Like I still didn't have any knowledge from college because all what we were doing were like theory stuff, right? So and no lecturer had time. Okay, don't worry. I would answer your question soon. So like no lecturer had time to teach the stuffs like into deep, like more technical because they were all just trying to wrap up and just finish their class and leave, right? So I was like, okay, how about I establish a community, right, where would help people like me because I realized that was like a very big challenge on my campus. So I met some good people, and I felt like they were also equally good, and we started a community called Central University Developers Community, where we had stacks like we had fields in web development, we had fields in app development, um, VAR, we had AI, machine learning, and all that. So I had people that were equally good in those aspects. So some were like my seniors, some were like in 400, 300. I was able to reach out to them, and we came up with that community. Like we grew that community to about 200 plus membership, right? From different departments on our campus. So I realized it was going so well. People were kind of getting impacted because it literally also helped me because people were also asking me, okay, so I took the web aspect. So I had a smaller group from the community where I had to mentor them on how to get started in web development, and we all learned. Like, I was teaching them how to start with the front end and back end. So they will go and try and ask me questions. Sometimes I wouldn't have the answer, but I'll tell them, okay, I'll get back to them. Then I'll go and read and come back and inform them. So so me establishing this tech community helped me a lot because that was when I started becoming more friendly. Yeah, because back then, like yeah, back then, like I was so quiet, like I wasn't talking to anybody, no one knew me. So that was literally like how I started improving on my communication skills, right, with the community I established, and it was going so well. So I realized, oh, so I saw this GDAC on the internet, somewhere on the internet, and I decided to apply as a lead, and I got the opportunity to become a Google Developer Student Club's lead. So since we already had an existing community, um, it wasn't so difficult for me. We just had to learn more of Google stuffs, right? So that was literally how like I started with GDAC, and that was literally how like I started kind of building a very strong relationship, helping people and impacting lives from my campus. Yeah. So I didn't know that I was supposed to kind of have this strong network of communicating with people and all that. So this has helped me a lot. Like I learned how to network and build like a very strong relationship with other people in that community. Also, there's also so out of me being GDS, like me being a GDS lead, I I saw someone on LinkedIn, right? That's Shadrach Enusa. So I think he's on the call now. Yeah. So I I was just going through LinkedIn, and I saw him. I was like, okay, this guy is a GDG Accra lead. So I reached out to him that I've been recently picked as a lead, and I would love for him to be my mentor so that I will know how to manage communities, because um, I only knew how to manage communities in a very small way on my campus, because we literally had like 200, we literally had like just 200 people, and I was so new to GDAC, so I had no knowledge with how to impact people with Google technologies, right? So Sadak was so nice to me. Like, he was really nice to me. Like, he started sharing his experience with me. He showed me, as a community lead, you have to do this and that. You have to learn how to communicate with people. You have to learn how to help people impact. So all these stuff helped me. Like, he literally exposed me more publicly, because I had zero skills in public speaking. Like, I was always scared that I won't be able to speak outside. Yeah, but Shadrach made that happen. Thank you so much, Shadrach. Yeah. So he literally made that happen, right? So Shadrach also became my mentor from that point where I was a GDC lead, and from there it started. Yeah. So that was where I had to dive more, because so I think, yeah, so I was in second year back then when I became the lead. Yeah, second year. So I'm currently the lead too, so second year, right? And it's been I don't know, it's been so great. Like, so I started, like, he was sharing like his experience with me, how to build like a, a professional portfolio on LinkedIn. So I always, I don't know, I think I didn't tell him this. I always go and open his LinkedIn profile, check his certifications, his work, how he has, done his description and all that. Then I'll just go and, I don't know, I always use that as inspiration to work on my LinkedIn profile. So, I also started working on my LinkedIn profile. I Yeah, so like, I was always kind of watching his profile to build mine. Yeah, he doesn't know about this. He doesn't know about this. So, like, it's also great. Honestly speaking, like, Shadrach has been like a major catalyst in my software engineering life. So second year, I started as a professional software engineer, because already I was very good in full stack web development. So I started getting gigs. Like, my friends were recommending me to startups, companies to work with, and that also kind of helped me, because I think I got this internship with a company, I think, when I was in second year, and back then I had the technical skills, right, but I didn't have the soft skills, because the soft skills I knew was just the communication and the networking, but I didn't know how to relate with employees in the same workspace, because, like I said, I've been that kind of, like, I was always um is it the solo software engineer, like someone that works independently and feels very comfortable, right? So I had never worked on any huge projects with people, like, together working on one thing. So my first internship exposed me, because and over there I had this guy called Meshach. So he was like my mentor over there. Like I said, like, you need mentors in every way, in every aspect of your life. So I had a mentor there called Meshach, and he started telling me what I'm supposed to do as an intern. Do, like, they see me as an employee, right? So I started learning the soft skills, being how to being able to communicate effectively, and communicating ideas, collaborating with the big guys over there, and also I learned how to manage my time very well, like how to make a significant difference in delivering like high quality products and projects. So my first internship like opened that scope of idea, and it's really helped me. Honestly speaking, it's helped me. So me becoming a tech co-founder, establishing a community, being a lead, my first internship, this thing just these three helped me. So I don't know. So from there, I got motivated to always like learn, because what Shadak told me was, if you want to be recognized in the community, you have to be very active. You have to always be participating in community events, community talks and all that. So I think so so that was it. So there was this time, I think I had not spoken at like a very big event before, because I always kind of speak within the community on my campus, right? Or with Easyness community. So I told him, okay, so I would like to, try something new, something different. And he was like, okay, so they're having Kumasi there first. That was last year, December. And and he was like, okay, how about I apply as a speaker? Yeah. And I was like, okay, so what am I going to speak on? And he was like, okay, so what are you learning? So back then, I started learning Flutter a little bit, but I wasn't so good with Flutter. And yeah, so Flutter is a framework. Sorry, so Flutter is a framework for building mobile apps, right? For Android and iOS phones. I don't want to dive deep technically. Yeah, so Flutter is just a framework for building mobile apps, right? So I was learning that for something. Yeah, so I told Shadak, okay, how about I try something new? And he was like, okay, how about you apply as a speaker at Kumasi there first, because he'll be going there. So he told me, and I was like, okay. And I'm like, so what am I going to speak on? Because like I still didn't have any solid knowledge in Flutter back then, and I was just that guy that was learning from YouTube, and yeah, learning from YouTube. So I had this friend that we both um started working on a project together, right? So because I was good in web, me transitioning to a different field in the tech industry wasn't very difficult, because I already had like a very strong knowledge in OOP, like OOP. So I wanted to learn Flutter, right? So there was this guy that I got a contract, and I reached out to him, Desmond. Yeah, I'm giving shout out to Desmond. I think he's also in the call right now. So I reached out to Desmond, and he was like, okay, he can work with me. But I think like I'm not yet good. I'm still like between intermediates. So Desmond Desmond became like my peer mentor in mobile app development, right? Because he had like about 1+ year, I think 1.5 years in Flutter. So like he had experience, and he had like built apps and published them on Google Play Store and all that. So like, but like he was the boss. Like he's the boss. Sorry, not was he's the boss too. He's my boss. So I reached out to him, and so like he started exposing me more to the framework, and he was telling me more about the Flutter community. Yeah, so I asked Desmond, so what topic can I speak on? He was like, okay, how about I speak on how to get started in Flutter? Back then, like, I also I just started learning Flutter like from YouTube, like YouTube videos. So yeah, so like I didn't have a solid foundation. So he said that, and I went down like I don't know. I think I decided to reach more about Flutter. I had to prepare. I was also new, because I hadn't spoken to like any people that were outside my campus, because like all the people were all the people I had spoken to like in events were people that I was familiar with. Yeah, I was free with you, Bob. So there wasn't that tension. So I was getting worried, like, yo, how will I be able to speak with people that outside my comfort zone? And also Kumasi GDG kind of has like people that are like tech vets, like people that have the experience already. So I was thinking like, how would I talk to these people, because already like some were experts on it. So I don't know, I was just confused. But Desmond kept telling me that, oh, I should just go. I can do it. So he also applied to be a speaker. Yeah, so Desmond also applied, and I had Gabriel from Legon. He's a GDC from Legon. He also applied, and we all told Shadrach, and Shadrach was like, cool. So like Shadrach had to put us on, and we got the opportunity to speak at those events. So like after Kumasi the first, like yo, like that was it for me, like, because the people were so welcoming, like, right, and no one put pressure on me. I don't know if they can remember. I was like, at some point, I was shaking, but well, I just had to. I was like, I was just telling myself, "Yo, you can do it, you can do it," and I did it. Like, I did it. Everyone learns. So that was my first time, like, outside, like speaking out of my comfort zone, right? So yeah, So thank you so much, Shadrach, for that opportunity once again. Like, Shadrach put me on that aspect, right? So from there, I got like motivated because like people were reaching out to me. They want to learn Flutter. though I was like, though like I wasn't an expert, you know. So like, and people would work on something and they would have problems, bugs, and they would send them to me. Hey, Salami, someone who doesn't know Flutter. then then I would also go and research more. So like that was like how like I started like learning deep into mobile app development. I started learning like constantly, like, because I knew if am unable to help those people, they will seem like, so why did he apply as a speaker, like about that kind of thing. So like that motivated me to start learning. So I started learning more. Like I was learning more, working on more projects. I was always talking to Shadrach and Desmond, and so through all these stuff, like started contributing to the community, the Flutter community, and all that. And later, I think right after the first, no, I think yeah, I think before the first Kumasi, I had the opportunity to be invited to Flutter Forward at Nairobi. That happened in January. So I had the opportunity to get to Kenya and meet up with the legends. Like, so I need people that were good on it. So like, so from there, like, that was it for me. Sorry, that was it for me. Like, I got so much inspired because people were sharing their experience, their stories, and I knew, oh, okay, so I'm also yeah. So like they all also started like me, right? So yeah, so that was it for me. So like I was able to do all these stuffs, and yeah, like I just got exposed because from there I started having opportunity to speak at more events, both virtually and in person. Like for virtual, like I had opportunity like speaking with other GDAC schools outside Africa, Philippines, with Desmond right there again. Yeah, like Desmond has always been like the guy. Yeah. So like we started getting the opportunity. I was speaking at events in different schools, virtually outside Ghana and in person. So Sadak was literally like putting me on. Like I was learning how to participate in events and all that. And I think, yeah. So that like has been like one of my. So like that has been like my amazing journey. Because back then, when I started in 2017, I didn't know like I had to constantly learn and keep up with the latest tech stuffs and trends. I didn't know how to network and build relationships, right, in the professional industry. I didn't know how to develop soft skills such as communication, networking, and time management. And also, I didn't know how to build a strong portfolio to showcase my work. And the last one was I didn't know how to pursue my passion and interest within the tech industry I was interested in. Yeah. So yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if you guys picked the points that I just mentioned. I don't know. I'll just go over them again. So I'll share this with you guys. You can take it as a tip from me. So if you want to be, um, yeah. So like I said, so what I wish I knew was how to constantly learn and keep up with the latest trends in tech. That's the first one. Secondly, how to network and build strong relationships with other professionals in the tech industry. Third, I wish I knew how to develop soft skills such as communication, network, teamwork, and time management. Fourth was I wish I knew how to build a strong portfolio back then to showcase even my mini project that I was even working on in 2018, 2017. And also the last point was I wished I knew like how to pursue my passion and interest within the tech field that I was interested in the industry. So these are like the five. Is it six or five? I think five. The five things that I wish I knew, and I hope you guys got it right. Yeah. So thank you so much. I think I would end here. I've talked to my
Awesome. Awesome. Great story that you shared with us. That's so honored. Do you have any questions for Salami here? Maybe he mentioned a term you're not familiar with and you want him to elaborate more on, or something he mentioned struck you and you'd want more clarification on. So he has mentioned the things he wished he knew, which was to build and network, build relationships and network. Okay, I've seen some hands here. Did Papa Kofi Boahen. After that, Dede Dora Enim. Please go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Let me introduce myself a bit. My name is Pakufi Wine. I'm in level 200 at Academy City. I'm offering computer engineering. So my question to Salami is, did he ever suffer from imposter syndrome? Did he ever feel like he's inadequate to do a particular task or to work on a particular project? Did he ever feel that way? And if he did, how was he able to like overcome it? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pakuki, for the question. Yes, yeah, like I think everyone experiences that like at some point in their lives. So, like I said, so I at a point I wanted to transition from web to mobile app due to a contract I had, right, and I wasn't very good, and I the client asked me if I could work on it, and I was like, yeah, I can work on it. Still, like I knew like I wasn't like really solid with that framework, right? So I knew a GDC lead called Desmond, like because we all knew ourselves because we had a platform for Ghana leads and we had already kind of introduced ourselves already. So I reached out to him and I was like, okay, so I had this contract, blah 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 blah. Because I knew like he's good and he has the experience. So he became my mentor, like he became my peer mentor in Flutter. So like he was explaining some things to me, and that was how I was able to overcome it because like I was constantly like reaching out to him if anytime I had a problem, and he was always encouraging me, you can do it, you can do it. And I I was telling myself, yes, I can do it. Like I was just trying to get rid of that small voice that was telling me in my head, you can't do it. You can yeah. So he encouraged me a lot, and I think that helped me. Yeah. So the mentor, like he being my mentor, like was a very big deal for me. Yeah. Papa Kofi, are you clear with that? Hi, Papa Kofi.
Yes, thank you very much. I got it.
You're welcome.
All right,
Okay.
Dede, over to you. Hello, Dede. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes. Hi. We can hear you all. Go for it, Dede.
Hello. Hello.
Hi. We can hear you, Didi.
My network. So my question is for me I'm an entrepreneur. I'm into interior and event. Okay, so I want LinkedIn and YouTube. So I don't know if you can assist me to.
Um, I think I didn't get your question at a point. I lost connection. I don't know whether I lost from my end or from your end. Can you kindly repeat your question,
So
please?
so I'm saying I'm an entrepreneur. I provide services and I'm
Oh,
into
okay.
interior and event. Yeah. So how to like get a good profile at what's the name? LinkedIn,
Okay.
Instagram. But I have a shop on Gigi, okay? So I want a
Oh,
good
okay.
profile. People call me so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think for that, I'll speak a little bit on it, and I'll leave it to Akili to answer that since she has more
If I
experience.
get if you can assist me to get a good profile.
Oh, sure. Why not? We can connect
Hello?
on LinkedIn. Yeah. Why not? We can connect on LinkedIn right after our meeting. I'll just share my LinkedIn, my name on LinkedIn over here. Yeah. So for me, I just so like I said, I always watch Shadrach's profile on LinkedIn. So like I use like his LinkedIn profile as my my inspiration to build, like as the inspiration to build mine, right? So I was just like watching how he built it, how like he constructed like his description, blah blah blah, those stuff, like how he even posts and all that. Though like um he wasn't posting about um stuff that were related to entrepreneurship, but I just use that as my inspiration to build mine. I don't know. Actually, can you answer that since you are more into social media marketing and all that?
Okay. All right. Dede, what you should do, I think he has even answered it. From what he said, you can look at profiles or portfolios which inspire you, or a particular group of people. For instance, you are into event planning, so you can look for people who are into event planning who have really great profile and try to replicate things you see. We'll have a special session on LinkedIn training very soon, and I'll keep you updated on that. Yeah. With other social media platforms, I believe consistency is key. And one thing that helps to keep customers engaged is if you provide value. So, for instance, as you showcase the events that you host or the events that you have planned already, you can also give tips of how to host an event as someone who wants an event planner to help you, what to do, some of the few tips, some of the few tricks, like basically educating people engages them and draws more attention to you. You understand? So I think if you cultivate the habit of consistent posting and also sharing valuable information, I believe that can enhance your reach. um, as for the LinkedIn session, we are definitely going to have a session. I'll keep you updated on that. All right, I hope that answers your question.
I think she left the meeting. Probably she lost her internet
Okay, all right,
connectivity.
the recording will be on YouTube, so in any case, if you missed any part of the session, you may want to go there. Hopefully by end of next week, it should be there. Theophilus has raised hands and Eugene. So Theophilus first and then Eugene. Theophilus, over to you.
All right. Thanks. Hello, please. Good evening. Yeah, I'm Tiflos Samankwa. And yes, I'm not into university. I'll be going to university hopefully next year. So I want to ask my mentor, Salam, that see what I know is, I mean, he said it's is that it is good to, like be good at one particular programming language. Like they said it's good to be good at one particular than having general knowledge about all the programming languages. So I want to ask, which one does he think I should focus more on in case, even if I should even start studying or mastering that programming language right now? I mean, I want to know whether JavaScript, Python, like anything that he thinks I should master first. I mean, that will help me in my tech journey ahead. I want to know. Please allow me, help me.
Okay, so that's one interesting question. Yeah. So okay, so for me, when I started, like I was learning everything. Yeah, like I was trying to be the jack of all trades, like which it didn't help me at all because I couldn't um master one particular stack like for more than like 2 years. I was just learning, like I was just randomly learning stuffs, right? So I was like, okay, so already I knew what I wanted to build, right? I wanted to build an e-commerce platform. So I knew definitely I had to start with web development. You get it? Because I knew what I wanted to do. So I literally started with web development, like learning HTML, JavaScript, CSS, the basics. Then, I advanced. So I knew, so yeah, so I knew I could build like a nice front end with these languages. But how would I receive data, right? So I was like, okay, so how to learn like a back end for the front end so that I would have like a working solution, right? That will serve our customers, right? So I checked and I thought Django was best for me. And Django is Python Django. So I learned Python, a little bit of Python, like the basics. Then I had to learn Django with the front end stuff. So like that was like how I started. So I picked web development, and in web I picked those key languages that I think would best fit into my interest after researching, right? So that was literally how I started. But back then I used to, yeah, because we were in school. So like in school we learned C plus plus, that. But I didn't take them serious because I was just learning them for, I don't know, just the foundation. But what I knew, like what I wanted to work on, forced me to pick, like kind of forced me to choose that path from web. Yeah. So it all depends. Like at some point maybe you get an opportunity to work on a project, and let's say the project requirements will be like, okay, you are supposed to use this framework. That's where it starts from. If you are now starting, you can sit down and I don't know. I think I mentioned this point in my when I was sharing what I wish I knew. I said um, I wished I knew how to keep up with the latest trends and technologies, right? Currently, we know AI has taken over the market, AI, machine learning, ChatGPT, and all that, right? Yeah. So if I have interest in that, I would definitely focus on that because I know that's where right now, like the trend is moving at, right? So it all depends. Yeah. So it all depends on you and what you feel you think you can work with. But I would advise you um to take it a step at a time. No one is doing magic. We all learn like from the basics, right? Yeah. Theophilus, I hope you are okay with my answer.
Yes, please. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
All
And I'm
right,
hoping
Eugene.
to connect with the people. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All
Thanks.
right. So I think what we can do is to drop our social media handles, the most active handle we have in the chat, and let's connect with each other and have these conversations. We organize these webinars on the last Thursday of every month. So you may want to be part and build the relationships that the network that you have in order to continue conversations around this. All right, Eugene, over to you.
Hi everyone, good evening. I must commend ViztaEdu for this particular webinar. It's a great session you're having here. And Salami, thank you very much for your presentation as well.
It's my pleasure.
I could really feel the sincerity in your voice and your presentation, and it makes it very relatable. Okay, so so I have a nephew who I want, and I want him to go into software development. Looking at yourself now, okay, he's I think 13 years. Looking at yourself now, if you were starting at let's say 13 years, how would you learn software development? Okay, so that is one. Then the second one. Second one, you talked a lot about having mentors, communities, and other things. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you say you had a first mentor called Meshach?
No, so he was my mentor when I had the opportunity to intern
Okay.
as a software
And then,
engineer. Yeah.
and then you had another one called Shadrach.
Yes, Shadrach. That's Shadrach Enusa, the current GDG
Wow.
lead for Accra.
Maybe now we are we are left with Abednego, and then we'll just complete the. So,
Okay.
my, my my question there is that how do I get like mentors and networking opportunities or communities like you did, or especially if
Okay.
I'm not on any university campus? Okay, how do I
Okay.
get mentors and like opportunities, networking opportunities? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think um your first and second questions are very thoughtful questions. Like they're very interesting ones. Okay, so with the first one, if I was 13, so you could I wouldn't advise you to force anything on your nephew to learn, like, oh, go and learn this and that. So you can probably ask him, hi bro. So um okay, so probably you can ask him this way. Okay, so he okay, if he has access to a smartphone, you can ask him like, what does he think about what does he think about this mobile apps he's seeing on his phone? um if does he want to create something similar to this, or does he want to create something like a website? So you can probably ask him, so what has he, or like, yeah, so just make it a general question, like what interests him in the tech industry. Probably he's new, but he should probably kind of know something interesting, right? Yeah, so he could be like, oh, big bro, I think I saw this and it's interesting. So right there, you can access him from that point, like he has made mention of. Okay, so probably maybe he can say, oh, so he saw this website and he thinks it's nice and he wants to create something similar. So over there, he might be interested in web development. So from there, you start recommending him for web development, like how to get started in web development. You get it? If he talks about maybe mobile apps, yeah, because yeah. Sorry, I think I'm back now. Okay, so sorry. Yeah, so personally, I wished I also had someone to tell me this, right? Where, because already I knew like I wanted to do something like a game when I was very young, because I always loved playing games, right? But I didn't know how to build one. No one told me like you can actually build it. I was thinking like games like were built by huge people like you, Bob, that kind of thing. Yeah. So I didn't have anyone to tell me, oh, you can actually do it if you learn this and this and that, right? Yeah. So it all depends on what he thinks he has interest in. Then you would have to identify that and research more, or probably reach out to someone you think you've seen that can advise you on what stuff that he can start with. And secondly, you made mention of you if you're not being part of if you're not a student, or you're not in any student community. Okay, so if you're in Accra here, we have a community called Google Developer Groups Accra, and this community has the engineers that are already working, students, and they're all part of this huge community. So you can join the community. The community is so welcome. Like you get to meet people that are experienced, people that are coming up. So like it has all sides, right? And uh, you know everybody is open to help you get started. If maybe if you already started in the journey and maybe you are stuck somewhere, someone can literally help you based on what you think you have interest in, right? So I would share a link um, on the platform on how to join the community, right? So I'll just drop the link over here so you have
Awesome.
access to it.
All right. I believe we are okay. Augustine, go for it. Hello,
Oh,
Augustine.
hi, good
Yes.
evening.
Good evening.
My name is Augustine Agbolo. I'm not in school, but I'm currently doing, I don't know if you've heard about ALS. So I'm
Yeah.
doing ALS, yes, software engineering. And it's not been easy. This is my first time, venturing into something of like tech side. So it's been tough. So I'm really glad to be here, and thank you very much for organizing such a meeting just to throw light on things that like we need to do when we are starting. I think it deserve applause. So I'm here. I'm looking forward to meet somebody, someone that can who is already in it and who can help me to give me some stepping stones, the things to do, because it's been hard. This is my first time venturing into something like that, so it's been hard, but I'm still pushing through.
Oh, okay. 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 So I think Shadrach posted a contribution towards to the question, the previous question asked by Eugene. So I think he's right about that. Thanks so much for throwing light on that. Okay, so back to you, Augustine. So so with ALX, personally, I think I was in cohort 3 or 4. Yeah, like, but I dropped out later because it was so difficult balancing it with academics and other stuff I was doing. So I wasn't consistent with that. Yeah. Okay, so with ALS, I know ALS has a large community. So in my cohort like this, we had people in my cohort, okay, and the cohorts were divided into groups. So in my group, I had some people from Nigeria that were also parts of the program, and some were already like tech savvy, like they were tech based, right? So they had
Okay.
they had the knowledge on some stuff. So
Right.
I was always reaching out to them. Oh, can you help me work on this? Like, I mean, the people, because like some would just, I don't know, some would always be, you could see like some would just be sharing their insights anytime you guys kind of are supposed to maybe submit a task. Someone can just come and share. So like from that point, okay, this guy will be willing to help you because like about that kind of thing. So for me, I had this
Yeah.
guy from Nigeria. Um, I've forgotten his name. Precious. Yeah. So like Precious was always kind of sharing like the answers, explaining to people. Like, so personally, like I was moving to them because like I was reaching out to them
Okay.
privately. So I'll reach out to them. Hi, I'm Salami. I'm very new. Can you help me do this and that? So like that was like how like I became comfortable in my own cohorts because I had people, and like I had to reach out to them first since I knew I didn't have any strong knowledge. I think when we started with Bash shells also. Is it Bash? Yeah, if I could
Yeah,
remember
but
clearly.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like so they were helping me. Like I reached out to them that I
Yeah.
needed the help. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you once again. And there's one thing, sometimes you see most of them because they are ahead. I don't know, when you reach out to them, it's kind of sometimes it's difficult for them to pick you up, from where you are now. It's like it's difficult for them because
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I get it
I don't
from
know
your
if you have
context. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. So
have
yeah. Um, Augustine, are you saying something? Okay. Yeah. So from what you said, um, I reached out to people that I knew like could help me from scratch, right? So like I wasn't just reaching out because already like before I would even reach out to someone, had already kind of done my research, because I always try to check on YouTube what people are working on, like how to use maybe this shell command. So if, let's say, I do it and it doesn't work, then I'll reach out. Okay, so I try doing this and that. So from there, already it's like you've already researched like on that particular problem. So you've gotten a little idea about it, but it's not working. So the person explaining it would kind of make it like an addition to the knowledge you've already gained from researching on that particular problem you are facing, right? So it's always good, like it's always better when like I don't know, me, Google is my friend. Anytime I have a problem, I always try to research it first before I even reach out to anybody. So after I research it and I'm still not clear, and I reach out to them, they saying maybe one or two things would kind of bring my mind to this part I didn't get. And that's it. You get it. So always research something before, like, don't just see it and be like, okay, let me just go and ask him, like, without you having like a fair idea about what you're supposed to do with that thing, right? Yeah. Augustine, I hope you're okay with my
All right. All right, we'll take our last one from Mr. Incredible. Ha, interesting name.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Incredible. Okay, he can't speak now, but how do I leave WordPress and actually build something real? I know basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, but can't use this for anything. I also know C++ to an intermediate level. I can try Python, although I haven't really experimented with it. So he basically is wondering how to build something real. What exactly does he need to build something real?
Okay. So if I'm getting him right from the question he asked, he said he's only good, like right now he's very good like with WordPress, so he's okay, but he can't really build anything solid with the programming languages he has learned. I feel like hi, Mr. Incredible. Yeah. So I feel like it's still on you, okay. And let's say HTML, CSS, JavaScript, okay. And but like, yeah, let's say these three languages, okay. What I would advise you is to build like more projects. You can probably, like, I don't know, I started from YouTube. I was watching people build like websites with those languages, and I try to build something similar, or I customize to my own liking, right? And yes, and WordPress is real. Yeah, like we have something called low code, like low code, no code in software development. Like we have people that can actually like build huge systems without even writing a single line of code, right? Yeah. So WordPress, like, it's a very huge skill. Like people are making money from WordPress. Like it's crazy. I have friends that like are building like huge e-commerce platforms for startups, and they understand how to use WordPress very, very, very well. So I always reach out to them. Oh, can you help me? Can you explain this plugin to me and all that? So don't say WordPress is not real. Like if you know WordPress, learn more. Like learn more. Learn how to scale optimization. Like you get it. Yeah. There's one to WordPress, which I think you haven't even seen yet. Yeah. So explore more about WordPress probably online. Yeah. So like with what I said. Okay, fine. So the basics with the programming languages, Bootstrap. Pick up a project, start building. Um, when you get stuck, you can ask someone you think is equally good. Oh, can you help me with this? Can you explain this concept to me? And stay consistent. Like always try. Sometimes you'll be feeling lazy and all that, but always remove that small voice telling you that you are tired. Nah, continue building. Yeah. So being consistent at what you do would help you to improve massively. Yeah. Mr. Incredible, I hope you're okay with my answer to your question. So experience more. So experience more. Experiment more. Thank you. Okay. Oh, Frank, by the way. Okay, sure. Nice to meet you, Frank. Yeah, actually, here you go.
All right. So on that experiment more note, I believe we've come to the end of our session today. I'm so excited about today. I believe we've all gotten some knowledge about tech and gotten to know exactly what you need to start with your tech journeys, and in order to also build massive sites like what Prof. Salami is building. Thank you so much, Prof, for being part of today's session. We are incredibly grateful. So today is our 1 year anniversary at this
Wow.
webinar. We've had all these incredible people. Let me pin Gideon and pin the other. Okay. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. All right. So no, I believe I haven't pinned my screen. Give me a minute to do that.
Oh,
Okay.
from here, I think you've pinned your screen. Yeah, I can see
Oh,
from
okay.
there.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we've had Umuka Zurak, PSC Nanaya Safo, Jimaima A.O. Kai, Lawrence Aliba, Ibrahim Halidu, Samuel Sarkodie, Christabel Odonko, Dr. Nicholas Adai, Norbert Jiwonu, Abigail Tete, Emmanuel Ilom Kwashi, George Apia, Ira Osaya Kuto, Rabiu Umakuta, Lord Edem Klukui, and finally our very own Gideon Kofi Salami. And it has been a very wonderful journey, and we just want to thank you all for being of this session and being part of our progress and our growth. We really appreciate you because you have been tremendous help. You have been the one encouraging us to move forward and forward in our journey. So kindly shoot us a review on Google. We are on Google. When you search for ViztaEdu, you find ViztaEdu there. We have our webinars also there. So kindly shoot us a review of how you found the webinar. And also you can interact with us on our social media. We are on LinkedIn, we are on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Kindly interact with our socials. And last month's webinar is live now. So once you go on the ViztaEdu YouTube platform, on YouTube, you're going to find this webinar. It was on financial literacy 101. So if you missed it, go right now, and please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to boost our reach. Okay, so we've come to the end of today's session. I believe we've all learned a lot. Kindly, Mr. Incredible has, okay, I think it's an old, all right. He had his hand up. I thought he was now. Anyway, so kindly share your learnings online for us. And yes, Salami, your startup link, kindly share it
Oh,
on the
okay.
chat
Yeah, sure.
session for our lovely patrons to patronize your email. And you didn't tell us about the virtual reality, or it's still a secret.
It's something new coming in the system. So we are about to show Ghana.
Yes, yeah. So tech is a broad field, and with this e-commerce platform, you're literally going to experience shopping without being there. You understand? So kindly follow Easyness more on all socials. And yeah, thank you all so very much for being part of today's session. My name remains Akweli Abna Okai. I'm CEO and co-founder of ViztaEdu. And ViztaEdu is a tertiary level platform for students and young people alike to learn and network and basically share educational webinars like this, and also share learnings and workshops. So thank you all and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye.